1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Out there in Mandolin land, Mike Heading here, coming to you today with the old traditional song Rovin Gambler in the key of A. I did this one for banjo a few weeks back and I thought it'd be fun to do a mandolin version. We're going to kind of work through two solos, kind of more of the traditional style, maybe kind of like a Bill Monroe influenced solo with a lot of drone strings, but kind of some classic bluegrass licks in the key of A. So you can apply a lot of these concepts to a lot of other songs in the key of A, so that should be helpful. I'll break down both the solos note for note, just like I played at the beginning, and then we'll go over some backup you can do, kind of how to play these chords in different shapes on the neck. We'll break that down as always as well. All right, here's Rovin Gambler in the key of A. Let's start breaking it down. All right, so let's start breaking down this first solo to Rovin Gambler. Let me play the first 9 measures. That'll kind of be like halfway through the solo so you can kind of hear how it sounds, and then we'll start breaking it down in smaller sections. Here we go. Do it again really slow. We're going to be using some really classic kind of A major bluegrass positions in this song. So we're kind of thinking out of this A chord here, right? We're kind of in our lower first 5 frets for this first solo. And we're going to play a little pickup in measure 1, count beat 1, 1, and then we're going to go. And then we're going to land down on this 2nd fret. So we're just playing like a little scale run open A string, and then an upstroke on the 4th fret. Downstroke 2nd fret, upstroke open, so kind of like a little run, and then down to the 4th fret on the D string with a downstroke. So you have 1, rest, 2 and 3 and 4. 2 and 3 and 4 is how you count it. 1, 1. And then we're going to land here, 2nd fret of the D string, and I'm going to drone it with the A string above it. So when you see that higher open A string, or we're also going to use the higher open E string later in the solo, that's what's called the drone string. So that's a string ringing above the melody to create more harmony. So our melody in this case is always going to be the lower of the 2 notes in pitch. So that's the one you want to make sure you hear. And also if you don't hit the A string every time as a drone, it's not the end of the world. It's just going to fill up the sound. So we have... So we do a downstroke with that drone, and then down, up, and then the 4th fret, right? And you could drone that as well, right? So you can play it without the drone, or with, or if you hit it just once, right? It's fine too, right? So don't get too worried about the drone. The only thing you want to make sure is that you're not only hearing that A string, right? Otherwise, you're not going to hear the melody, right? You need to hear the lower of the 2 notes. So it's actually good right hand practice. You want to get both those notes to ring out, but to where you're still hearing that lower string. Why am I doing that? To add that drone string, because it fills up the sound. It kind of makes it sound like there's more going on than there really is. So that's kind of a cool bluegrass technique. Especially if you're playing like a small ensemble, just like maybe another guitar player, you and a guitar and mandolin duo, right? Filling up that drone string is really very powerful. So, all right, let's play it again, the first 2 measures. Here we go. 1. Measure 3, open A string, and then keep your 2nd finger down and slide it from 4 to 7, and that's just sliding up to where that note becomes the same, And then we're just kind of going off it and hitting the open A string. So you have 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. You can also drone up there and stay up there and hit both of the strings if you want to. And then we're going to do a little run in measure 4. We're going to go. So we're playing the high E string, and then 4th fret on the A string, 2nd fret, open. So down, up there. And then we're going to grab this 4th fret on the D string with an upstroke, which is going to help us play the timing. And then back up, open A, 2nd fret. So you have. So I'm going down, up, down, up, down, up. The picking there is actually kind of important. It's going to help you play the timing. The count is 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and. If you're having trouble with that, add a 2nd A string and you can hear how it fits in with the timing. Right here. Now take it out. And then stay down right there with your 1st finger, and then you're going to do. So we're droning with the high E string now, same idea that we just did. So I'm doing 2nd fret, and then upstroke 4th fret, and then down ups. And then open 2 again. So remember, the melody's on the A string there. And we're droning with the high E. Right? So let's play those first couple measures. Here we go. 1. I would kind of add a little accent in measure 4. And then accent right here. Alright, so same thing with measures 2 actually. Accent, 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 accent. And then we play kind of a similar phrase in measures 6 and 7. Just keep those 2 fingers in that same position, and you're going to go. So I'm just playing that lick twice. Again, good right hand practice. Get the drone going there. Don't lift up your 1st finger too. Don't do this. All right, see how that's creating more work? Keep your 1st finger down. It's also going to make sure you have the proper wrist angle. You need both those notes to be able to ring out. So we actually play that 3 times in a row into measure 7. And then we just go back down the notes. 4, 2, open, and then 2nd fret on the D string. So you have. That's measure 7. Again, you can play without the drone, like I said. Here's measure 6 and 7 without the drone string. But you can hear it doesn't fill it up as much. But remember, if you don't hit it every time, it's not the end of the world, right? You can hit it. And if you occasionally go back to that just lower string, it's fine, right? You don't want to get overly concerned with whether you hit both strings every time. Just know it's kind of a flavor you're adding to the solo. So that's all A chord up until this point, and now we're going to go into a D chord, quick D, and then back to A. So we're going to play a little lick. So you land here, and then you take your middle finger and you slide from 3 to 4 really quick on the D string, and then an open A string, another A string, and then 2, 3, 2, open 4. It's kind of like a little bluesy D lick. And then we go back to the 2nd fret here. You can hear how that lands. So you gotta do that slide quick. Down, up, and then down, up, down, up. Again, that's kind of how I accent it too. So accent, accent. And then we land there and we go. So just filling out that measure with picking and a drone string, right? So we have just. And then I just add that 4th fret for a quick second and just go right back. It just kind of spices it up. Instead of just playing that low string only, now I'm kind of what I call bouncing higher. Very kind of like a fiddle technique or way to imply a melody. A lot of times it'll be on the upstroke as well.